Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Shalish wants to know, hi Doreen, my son is 4 years old. He has phases of 6 to 7 uncontrollable laughter episodes every day. They asked, is it sugar or something else? I asked them earlier, I said, talk about the diet a little bit, how much sugar, how many carbs. And her response was that they took sugar out of his diet about a year ago because they saw a correlation with sugar, although they're not sure that he's not getting sugary snacks at school. And I asked about carbs, and she says, she says he eats fruits like oranges, strawberries, but less carbs, ? So There we are. We're going to start to talk about diet. You know what that's going to be like.
Yeah, I'm going to try to contain it here. My initial reaction as soon as I hear uncontrollable laughter is not sugar, it's yeast. That's my first go-to, because I've seen it actually. And so yeast, of course, I'm not going to talk for an hour about the fact that a lot of our kids struggle with yeast, but this has to do with usually it has to do with early exposure to antibiotics, or could be a variety of other things, but our children lose the healthy gut bacteria that prevents them from growing yeast, and therefore they start to experience candida. And candidiasis or candida can have a lot of different kinds of effects on behavior. So one of the things is that, there's two sides to it. One is, sometimes when your child has high levels of yeast, and this can be texted for, but sometimes when that happens, your child will seem very kind of zoned out or tuned out, not involved, not able to engage, not able to pay attention. And what's even more important and interesting is that if you connect with a physician and the physician gives you antifungal medications for the yeast, and there's a variety of them, Nizoral, Diflucan, etc. These are, medication that the child takes orally. And when you do that, there's this phase that we call yeast die-off, and that is a lot of giggling for no reason. So, and it doesn't have to necessarily be even medication. Sometimes the gut is forming its own bacteria and there's a yeast die-off reaction. So I would really, really go see a physician and say, I think my child has yeast. I think it's a candida. Can you do testing, blood tests to determine whether or not that is correct? And can we treat it? And then you have to be very patient because the treatment takes a little bit of time. Yeast is difficult, and you have to go dietary as well as medication in order to kind of eliminate it, because a lot of things in our diet feed yeast. So anything with gluten is going to increase yeast because that's the way it is. You leave bread out, it will form fungus very quickly. Anything with sugar will feed yeast. And so there are specific diets that will help you reduce the yeast faster. But that's kind of where I turn to. That's my first go-to or rule out. Kind of, I want to deal and make sure there's no yeast issues. Then I can look at other aspects of the diet.
There you go. I love that. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.